straight wins, 5 of the last 6. Coach Gregory will move the sweaty chairs and then
Sit on the
open
driveway.
things up for you.
Nasty. All right, start off and give Dartmouth a ton of credit. Played extremely well and did some things that put us in tough positions. First half, got in a ton of foul trouble early, and we got different combinations out there and trying to figure out what to execute on offense and defensive coverage. To our guys' credit, they fought through kind of a scrambled first half to still have the lead. I didn't think that offensively we took some quick and hurried shots throughout the game, and we got to do a better job in that area. But we talked about having to take away the threes. We didn't want them to get threes. So it did expose the post a little bit. So we got to get better. We got to get better at being able to still help a little bit on the post while taking away the three. But we hold them to 1 of 14, and that's the difference in the game. Again, we forced 15 turnovers with 10 steals, so we have a chance to really make a jump on the defensive end because we are much better offensively. You know what I mean? And we're out on the break. We're finishing plays on the break. We did not have a good shooting night, in particular Tyler, but we got good looks in the second half. Just didn't put them in, and obviously 2 big plays was Corey tapping that thing out, keeping that ball alive on that possession, and then Chap getting an offensive rebound. But holding them to 1 of 14, 36 or 35 from the field for the game, and then us forcing 15 turnovers was probably the keys to the game for us. Again, you can see a much better idea of how to play the game and playing the game the right way with 16 assists on 23 baskets. Just got to shoot the ball a little better when those shots show. We got to finish a couple plays around the basket. And I thought some guys who hadn't played as much came in and played well for us. So that was good to see.
You kind of touched on it. How big was that offensive rebound by Corey with, I think there was like 1:40 to play?
It was big. It was big. At that point, we had only had 6 offensive rebounds, and he gets that one, and then Chap gets one, I think, a possession later. But that was a big one for us, no doubt about it. And Corey got into foul trouble in the first half, got in foul as soon as he got out there in the second half. But we're not going to be as good a rebounding team unless he's playing, impactful minutes for us. So, only 10 today because of the foul trouble. So we got to get him dialed in a little bit more on the defensive end because he helps us a lot offensively and on the glass in particular.
Late in that second half, I think with 4 minutes left, Adelkin picks up his 4th foul. I mean, a guy that had been going at it toe to toe with Russ. Just as he came out, how big was that opportunity to have him off the floor?
Yeah, it was, and we had to get Russ out because he was dead tired there at that particular point, and we get him back in, and that opened up the offensive rebound opportunities for us. They went back and forth from man to zone, trying to get their ball inside in the zone. They did a good job on Russell today in terms of forcing him out of position. But we got to do a better job of when that ball gets to the wing and he ducks in. We got to look for him. He is a willing passer in there if there's a double team. And the one shot that he missed, it's just he hadn't got the ball in a while, so he was kind of out of sorts trying to score. And we got to get better in those areas. I thought there was probably 4 or 5 possessions when we were up 9 or 10 points through the remainder of the game that were not quality offensive possessions. And when you're playing they did a good job of slowing up the tempo. And so especially in the second half, when you're playing in a game like that, 4 or 5 empty possessions that are self-inflicted can bite you, and it almost did.
Just over five wins in the last 6. Just what do you feel has been the most thing improved in this team over that stretch?
Well, this is the first game that we haven't scored over 70 in that stretch. But we're shooting the ball better. We're moving the ball better. Our pace is better, and we're playing just good enough defense. All right. I think we're going to continue to get better offensively. As you know, like I said, I thought Keyshawn gave us a big lift, especially on the glass today with 3 offensive rebounds. He's rounding into shape. Sorrell's played well for us. You know, so we got to get the 2 phases on the defensive. Our defensive field goal percentage and our rebound margin have to improve right now. As we head into the game on Monday against a very good Hofstra team, final game against NJIT, and then obviously into league play. But again, you know, we've had multiple games where we have forced a lot of turnovers, and we've done a good job of, you know, again, 23 baskets, 16 assists. We got better spacing and movement, and when we're playing the right way, guys are willing to zip that ball to the next open man, and if we continue to do that with Russell inside, it will dramatically help us.
Do you have an update on Jake's injury? Is it just a high ankle sprain?
Bad ankle sprain. Yeah, you know, we're looking at
2 weeks.
2 weeks probably. It's a pretty good one. I think in the last 24 hours it's improved. And then Kinu's out for a few weeks. He broke his hand in practice, which is, you know, heartbreaking because he's such a big part of what we do on a daily basis. So, but that's the 2 injury reports.
Yep, DJ.
And DJ is still recovering, so we got to give him a little more time and see where he's at.
One of your old GAs who worked his way up into operations was on Dartmouth staff. Your offense is a lot different from last season when he was with you for a while, but did you change any of your defensive calls?
Not really. You know, they figured if they knew it was coming, we had to execute a little better. You know, and then defensively, there was a couple times where we talked about maybe trying the zone a little bit today, but in the games that they have won, they have scored 36 points a game from the 3.
Yep.
They're averaging 12 threes a game in their wins. So we rolled out the game plan a little bit. Now, you can't put them to the line 12 and have them go 12 for 12 in the first half. And 12 out of the 30 points at the free throw line. You got to cut that in half, and if that's at 7, then it's, you know, it's a different ball game. So we got to be able to take away what teams are good at, but still play our core defense. We got to get better in that.
This is going to be a bit of a stretch where basketball is going to be the main focus with final exams behind the team. How important is it to have this stretch where the guys focus solely on basketball?
I always said we had 2 stretches. Once we got back from Daytona and played the 1 game, we had opportunities to get back to practice, and you've seen our development as a team because of that. We don't have a lot over the next 5 days because we play 2 games, but when we come back, we'll be able to have a couple good days and then play Memphis, and then 6 days for the next game. So these next few weeks, even though we got a 3-day break in there, with basketball only, guys have done a great job. This is the best team I've ever had in terms of guys that come in the morning, get a workout in, work on their individual stuff, and then when we come back at practice, got to have great focus. So this is an opportunity for us as a team to take another step, because there's nothing else. You know what I mean? You should be working out, getting rehab, sleeping, and eating right now. And if you can throw in getting a present for mom and dad, then do that.
All right.
All good?
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, thank